There's a tectonic shift happening in enterprise software right now, and it's all being driven by a new kind of AI. We're talking about AI agents, and they are just exploding onto the scene. So let's get right into it because what's going on is, frankly, both incredibly exciting and, well, kind of terrifying. And here's the scale of that explosion we're talking about. Gartner's predicting that by 2026, that's not far away, a massive 40% of all enterprise applications will have AI agents built right in. Now think about that. That's a huge leap from less than 5% today in 2024. I mean, the adoption curve is practically a straight line up. But here's the twist. In that exact same time frame, Gartner also predicts that over 40% of these ambitious agent projects are just going to be shut down, canceled, done. We're looking at almost a 1-to-1 ratio of adoption to, well, to failure. So this really is the central question for anyone in tech, right? How can a technology get adopted so incredibly fast and yet fail at such an astonishing rate? What is the disconnect here between the promise and the reality? Well, the answer is simple and pretty alarming. We are deploying these incredibly powerful autonomous tools into a complete and total governance vacuum. It's like we've built these rocket ship engines, but completely forgot to install the brakes, the steering wheel, or even seatbelts. So yeah, this isn't just some abstract risk. It's a ticking time bomb. And I want to be clear, this is not a what-if scenario. This isn't theoretical. Get this, a staggering 80% of IT pros have already seen AI agents in their own companies do something unexpected or completely unauthorized. It's happening right now, in production systems. And it's not just an internal problem that people are whispering about. This data is backed up by serious industry analysis. Outlets like The Register are calling the state of agent identities absolutely ungoverned. That's their words. It really points to a profound lack of control. So what happens when you have a profound lack of control? Well, you create a brand new attack surface. And the security experts at OWASP, they've already started mapping it out. And look, these things you see here, agentic goal hijacking, privilege compromise, these aren't just hypotheticals they dreamed up. These are based on patterns from real-world incidents. The threat is absolutely concrete. Okay, to really understand this risk, we have to grasp a fundamental shift in how we think about this tech. See, a lot of businesses are treating these new agents like they're just a simple evolution of the AI co-pilots we've all gotten used to. And let me tell you, that is a critical mistake. Let's just break this down. A co-pilot, it suggests things. You, the human, are the safety buffer. You review its suggestion, and then you click execute. An agent, on the other hand, executes actions all on its own. Any human review, if it even happens, is after the fact. That's the whole ballgame right there. The human safety buffer is just gone. And what that means is the risk profile changes completely. So when a co-pilot messes up, what happens? You get a bad suggestion. Maybe you lose a few minutes of productivity. Big deal. But when an agent fails, you could be looking at an unauthorized system change, a massive security breach, a major compliance violation, or serious financial loss. The stakes are just fundamentally different. Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it's big, it's real, and it's growing every day, but it is solvable. The good news here is that there is a clear, structured way to defuse this bomb and actually regain control. The solution is something we're going to call the minimum control stack. It's made up of these 5 essential controls. And I need to be really, really clear here. This is not an a la carte menu where you can pick and choose your favorites. To get to what's called governed autonomy, you need all 5 of these working together. All right, first up, the absolute foundation, identity-bound actions. This means we're done with shared service accounts. No more agents logging in as admin bot 1. Every single agent gets its own unique, traceable identity. It's the only way you can be sure that every single action an agent takes can be tracked back to it and properly audited. Second, we've got tool allow lists. Now, this is important. This is not about trying to train an agent to behave itself. This is an architectural constraint. It means the agent is structurally, physically blocked from calling any API or using any tool that isn't on its pre-approved list. Think of it as the difference between asking someone nicely not to open a door and just locking the door. Number 3 is immutable audit logs. And we need to go way beyond basic logging here. For agents, you have to capture the entire decision-making chain, not just what it did, but why it decided to do it. And of course, these logs have to be tamper-proof, so you can actually reconstruct an agent's thinking for a real audit. Fourth on the list, human-in-the-loop gates. This is your proactive safety net. The idea is simple. The agent can handle all the low-risk stuff on its own, autonomously. But the second it encounters a high-risk action, say transferring a large sum of money or deleting a database, it has to stop, pause, and get explicit approval from a human. This is the control that prevents a bad day from becoming a disaster. And finally, number 5, the big red button, the kill switch. This is your absolute last resort. If everything else fails, you have to have the ability to stop a single agent, or even all of your agents, within seconds. But here's a really disturbing fact. The data shows that fewer than 40% of companies even have this critical last line of defense capability right now. That's a huge gap. So, after laying all that out, what's the adoption rate for this entire 5-part stack? Well, this is the number that should really get your attention. It's less than 10%. Let that sink in. Fewer than 1 in 10 companies deploying these incredibly powerful systems have implemented all 5 of these essential controls. Okay, that gap is obviously huge, but the path forward is clear. This is not about stopping progress or slowing down innovation. It's about making that progress survivable. So let's talk about what you can actually do right now. Here's a practical 5-step action plan. Here we go. Step 1. Audit your agent inventory. Simple, right? You can't govern what you don't know you have. Step 2, implement those identity-bound permissions. Give every agent a name. Step 3, deploy tool allow lists. Lock the doors you don't want them opening. Step 4, require a kill switch capability before anything goes into production. That should be a non-negotiable. And finally, step 5, map all your new controls directly to those OWASP risks we talked about. And that mapping isn't some abstract theoretical exercise. It's very direct. You're worried about tool misuse? Boom, that's what tool allow lists are for. Concerned about privilege compromise? That's what identity-bound permissions solve. Dealing with logging gaps? That's why you need immutable audit logs. You see, this framework directly addresses the known threats, one for one. You know, this really brings it all home. The big takeaway for any business leader listening should be this. Deploying autonomous agents without this 5-part control stack, well, that isn't innovation. You're not moving fast and breaking things. You're just moving uninsured. You're taking on massive, unauditable, and maybe even uninsurable risk. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. In a very near future, the most important question you'll have to answer isn't going to be about what your agents can do. It's going to be about your governance. The question is not whether your agents can act autonomously. It's whether you can prove to an auditor, an insurer, or a regulator that they were authorized to.